Hey, welcome back to FCRB TV. Um, Been a couple of weeks. Didn't do a video after the Burnley win, and then the Brighton draw, and then obviously today the catastrophe that took place at Anfield today for Arsenal. Um, so I'm gonna briefly go through the two previous results before we talk about the situation at Anfield today for Arsenal. Um, I think that I should cover and talk about what happened to Koulibaly of Napoli against Inter last weekend. Just talk about that a little bit. I was, going back and forth whether I would want to talk about it or not, but it's part of football. It's part of our world, so I will talk about that as well. Um, so yeah, as you know, Arsenal, squad's been looking a little bit leggy lately. Got by um, Burnley at home 3-1. Burnley was tough. Ozil had a good game. He created the first goal and the last goal on the counter. Um, so that was good. Then we went to you know Boxing Day at Brighton, and we drew 1-1, took the lead early, and did not hold on to the lead. End up drawing 1-1. Um, Aubameyang had an opportunity to make it 2-0 there, but he did not take his chance. And then we made a mistake in the back, and they got an equalizer, and the game ended that way. Fortunately enough, it ended 1-1 because, Brighton did have some opportunities to take all 3 points. But I was not too upset about the results because losing would have been catastrophic. Um, um, so watching, sorry about that. Um, Losing would have been catastrophic. So we would have loved to get 3 points. Was it 2 points dropped? Yes, but I still think we're in the hunt for top four. And then we go to Anfield today, and I was full of belief. I felt that we could get a result. I felt we could win the game. We take the lead through Maitland-Niles. Good goal. I thought he will be at the game. We're up 1-0, and then the wheels came off, and too many mistakes. Now, honestly, looking at the 5 goals that we conceded, the first goal, I felt that Torreira is tired. Our squad's not big, so he's been playing a lot of games. He's tired. Allowed Bobby Firmino to turn. He runs at us, plays Salah. Salah gets slide tackled. The ball pops loose. Instead of Lichtsteiner to clear the lines and just knock it out, preserve everything for us, he does some flick that deflects off of Mustafi past Leno. It's going to go into the goal. Bobby Firmino is there, knocks it in 1-1. Then Torreira again gets the ball off a layoff from Ramsey at 1-1. Too slow in the middle of the park, and as he receives the ball, our defenders are opening up to help keep possession. They're creating the shape that we need to keep it, and he loses the ball to Sane. The deflection, the tackle goes to Bobby, and Bobby runs at us, beats guys diving in, 2-1. And then the third goal off our corner, we knock the ball out of the box on the corner. Aubameyang knocks it out. And it goes to Robertson, and he drives a diagonal ball to Salah. And, Socrates never drops. Ball squared across. Sane scores 3-1. And then I thought that the fourth one was not a penalty. I thought that he got a couple knocks on the leg, but it was not enough. Salah's always going down. And what's crazy is Salah took a dive against Newcastle midweek. Nobody said anything. Then he does it again today. And people are like, oh, it's a penalty. But my question is this. Why is everybody going to give Maddison of Leicester a hard time? Because he did the exact same thing today against Cardiff that Salah did against Newcastle. Salah gets no retroactive ban possibly, or they don't look into it. But now they want to look into Madison's penalty that he won. He missed the penalty, but he won the pen. Do I think it was soft? They were both soft. But Salah gets to just be, oh, it's Salah, it's so great. But then somebody else does the exact same thing. Go back and watch it. Exact same thing. And that guy's going to get reprimanded for it, or potentially reprimanded for it. So I thought that was a joke of a penalty, and I thought the fifth goal was a joke of a penalty as well. Yes, Kolasinac hit him give him a nudge in the back, but you're huge, Lovren. If Lovren is going up to win a defensive header, he's not falling down. But because he's in the box, he takes the knock, falls down, and he goes, "Hey, ref!" And then he gives another penalty. I think Michael Oliver is not a good referee. I've done a video about Michael Oliver before. This is the same guy who refereed Juventus versus Real Madrid at the Bernabeu, and Juve had clawed all the way back to 3-3, and he gives Ronaldo and Real Madrid a penalty in the 90-something minutes. And then he sends off Buffon. That's the same guy. I tell you what, I'd rather have Mike Dean ref Arsenal games every week than let that guy come back and ref again. Because he's just, you just can't keep giving penalties, man. These are all soft penalties. A game of that magnitude, you can't keep giving soft pens. Having said that, I do not believe that he's the reason why we lost the game. I believe Arsenal, we lost the game because our injuries caught up to us. Our squad's not big. So missing the likes of Holding, Bellerin, Mustafi comes back after being injured, so he doesn't have any rhythm. To come and play a game like this with those players missing, and then the mistakes that we made, there's no chance you're going to win there. There's no chance. The mistakes, I'll say this. I don't believe Liverpool beat us. I believe we beat ourselves. We did not play a good enough game. We made mistakes, and the mistakes that we made were elementary mistakes. I believe Lee Dixon said during the commentary that this was schoolboy defending. It was schoolboy errors. I coach schoolboys, and my under-13 team have taken care of the ball better in the last 3 weeks than Arsenal did today. But again, 5-1, a bad day at the office for Arsenal. Can we still get top four? Yes, I think we can still get any spot in the top four except for first place. I don't see us getting first place. I do believe that second place is still attainable. There's a whole second half of the season left. We can do it. We just have to, Mustafi's got to get games under his belt again. We've got to find a way to refresh ourselves. But I still think it's going to be a good fight. But you just can't make mistakes like that, And even the Arsenal goal, it was a mistake from Liverpool. Liverpool made one mistake, they paid for it. Arsenal made 5 mistakes, they paid for it. That's the difference. Liverpool never really carved out, and they never built an attack and carved anything out. All they did was take advantage of our mistakes. So credit to them. So for those young players, if you minimize your mistakes, limit them, you have a very good chance of winning the game. And that's how Unai felt about the game afterwards. If you listen to his commentary, it was he wasn't. It was just like Liverpool come with a huge aggression and press to try to win the game in the first 10 minutes, and they scored 2 goals in the first 15 minutes. You can't allow that to happen. Torreira he was miles off the pace today. He looked tired. He looked slow. And when you're physically fatigued, yes, your mental game could go as well. And it looks like his mental game was a little slower than usual, and he got caught in possession, got turned a few times that were just a little bit too easy for my liking. But having said that, we've got to find a way to re-energize ourselves and be ready for Fulham next. But yeah, it's still a long way to go. I still believe in this Arsenal team. I believe in Unai. I think the squad that he picked today was a decent squad for what he had available. I don't think Mesut Ozil would have made a difference in this game. And I love Mesut Ozil. I respect him. I think he's a good player. But I've always felt that England doesn't suit him. It's too back and forth. There's no ebb and flow to it. There's no rhythm. If we could do a swap deal with Real Madrid and get Isco in return, that would be great. Because Messi gets to go to a place where he can really play his game. Isco will come to England and do very well, and everybody wins. Um, Also, they talked about Eva Banega. I don't see Mesut Ozil going to Sevilla, so there won't be a swap deal there. But once Ozil leaves in January, which I believe is going to happen, then Eva Banega will come in. I think he would do well for us. So, I think that once the game at 3-1 at halftime, I thought Lacazette would start the second half, but I'm not blaming Unai Emery. I think what he did was take off Mustafi and bring on Koscielny, and I think that was smart because listen to this. Mustafi was kind of like forced back early to play this game today. He's not. He's fit to play, but he's not match fit. Things like that. Don't risk him getting injured. Now, if we had a chance to win this game, Mustafi would have stayed on. But at 3-1, he's like, let me take him off, save him, let him. He got 45 minutes today. We'll get him back to speed. We'll put Koscielny back in there, try to get him some more games. But obviously, as we can all see, Koscielny is a shell of who he used to be. The Achilles isn't the same anymore. But he was just trying to put in a shift for the squad at 3-1. So it was a good move there. He wanted to try to see what we could get in the first 10-15 minutes of the second half, and then was going to bring on Lacazette, but then we committed another penalty, and they scored to make it 5-1, so it was a loss. So now he just probably makes the change to bring off Aubameyang, bring on Lacazette, and it's a straight swap because, again, even Aubameyang looks fatigued. Our whole squad looks fatigued because our squad's not big. Arsenal's squad is not big. And the only way you have a big squad in this modern day football is you've got to spend money. And Arsenal, we don't really spend money like that. So to look at where we are right now with the squad that we've got, not bad. Today was a bad day at the office. We let it ride. You know what I mean? People are going to, they're going to have their jokes. It's banter time, but that's all right though. It's not the first time we've caught 4-1 at Anfield. It's a tough place to play. The ball's in the air. They like to run. It's tough. They're running. It's tough. So, a tough result for Arsenal today. But I love my Gunners. We'll be back. We've got to get the 3 points when Fulham come to town in the London Derby next time out. But so that's how I saw the game. Top 4, can we get it? Absolutely. We've got to keep fighting. You know what I mean? I think that with as we said, au revoir to the professor, Mr. Wenger, and we get Unai Emery in to replace him, to be at this position at this point in time is great because I do believe that he has us fighting. He has us fighting for something. We're not languishing in 6th to 7th. You know what I'm saying? He's got us right in the fight. We can bounce back. We still have to play Spurs again. We still have to play United again. We still have to play City again. We still have to play Chelsea again. You know what I mean? So our lads just got to keep fighting. Got to keep fighting. We could get results and we could get to where we want to be. Champions League is still very much in our sights. So hopefully somehow this stumbles upon the Arsenal locker room and they can hear from an ardent fan, a supporter that we'll be all right, fellas. We'll be all right. All right, bad day at the office. We'll dust ourselves off and go again. So, having said that, the situation that took place in the big game in Italy last week between Napoli and Inter Milan, 2 big teams in Italy, there were racial slurs being used towards Koulibaly, the Senegalese centre-back of Napoli. By the fans, they were making monkey chants every time he touched the ball throughout the game. And his manager, Carlo Ancelotti, believes that he lost his cool a bit, and that's how he got sent off. Subsequently, after the sending off, is when Inter scored and won the game 1-0. And Napoli tried to have the referee do something about it, but he did not. So it went on. And I believe that one of the heads of the Serie A, whether it's the head of the Serie A or somebody at Inter Milan, I think it was the head of the Serie A, said that the banter was fine, that the racial slurs were okay. He said it's part of the game. He said that some teams chant Milan on fire. That is fine. He thinks it's all sport and all fair game. So my take to it is, and I'm a footballer, an African American footballer born in Nigeria, who has faced a lot of racial slurs during this time, and I face it now as a manager, not necessarily being verbally expressed, but how I'm treated by certain people in football. It still happens today. So having experienced what Koulibaly and all black footballers experience every day in football, I say to all the black footballers, we've got to be tough about this. We've got to be tough because, listen, all those what are they called, programs, or those incentives, or those those agendas that are set out, stomp racism out of football. There's no space. There's no place for racism in football. All that stuff. That's all well and good, and it's good that that's being done. But if somebody's going to be a racist, I mean, we just went through this with Raheem Sterling, and I didn't even talk about that because I thought Raheem handled it perfectly well. It's really never going to go away, because if somebody wants to be a racist, they will be. It doesn't matter what you tell them. It's what they believe. It's how they feel. It's in their blood. They don't care for you. So the best way to get them back is win the game. Win the game. Score the goal. Stop them from scoring the goal. Play your ass off. That's the best way you can get back at them, because deep down, it's not the person who's being victimized. It's not their job to stop it. It's the person who's doing it. They need to take a look at themselves and say, hey, you know what, mate? I can't do that anymore. That's wrong. So if you're being a racist, that's on you. That's not on anybody else. So for the head of the league or the head of Inter, whoever said it, that it's okay, it's part of the game, that's his belief, and I'm not mad at him for it. I know I'm not going to have dinner with the guy. I'm not going anywhere he's going, but every time that my team plays his team, I'm going to want to smash his team up. That's how it is. So Koulibaly, all the black players in the world, all the black people in the world, minorities, if you're getting racial abuse, dust it off your shoulder, get tough, and whatever it is you're out there doing, do it to the best of your ability, because it's not going away. It's not going away, because the people who are supposed to stop it are the ones who are doing it. If you're abusing somebody, it's not, that person has to realize that what they're doing is wrong. So those fans at Inter, those ultras who are making monkey chants in 2018, I mean, just the other day when we smashed up Spurs, some guy threw a banana peel at Aubameyang, and he said, oh, I found it outside the stadium and brought it in, and I'm not a racist. Yeah, are you serious? What's wrong with you? That guy's in denial. And a lot of people who are racist are in denial. And they'll say, oh, I'm not a racist. I've got 4 black friends. Shut up. If you're over here counting how many black people you know or minorities you know, you're a racist. You're counting. You shouldn't be counting. Who throws a banana peel at somebody? Who makes monkey sounds at people? Who does that? Who makes fun of special needs reporters? Who does that? That's what I'm talking about. It's unacceptable. And I'm kind of getting a little hot about it a little bit, but that's why I kind of didn't want to talk about it, because I deal with it every day. But I'm seeing that the Neapolitans are in full support of Koulibaly today in the game that they have today. I think they beat Bologna 3-2. So that is nice. It's great to see the support. But this racism thing, man, it's not going anywhere. People live off it. There are people out in the world who have everything that they have because they are a racist. And if racism goes away, they'll have nothing. Nothing. So that's why they have to hold on to it for dear life, because that's all they've got. So you just, you call it up like, hey, I'm not playing that game with you, and then we go on. But it's a shame because, things like, they talk about, Ancelotti talked about he almost took his team off the pitch. He wanted the stadium to suspend the game for a minute and let the fans know it's unacceptable. But the thing is, these people are teaching their kids. So they're like 10-year-old boys doing it too. 10-year-old girls, little kids. It's crazy. It's crazy. So my thing is, hey, you know what? Say what you want to say, but let's go. Let's play. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to allow you to use cheap tricks to try to get me off my game. So Koulibaly, don't let them get you all hot and get sent off. What you do is you time the next 50-50 and snap one of the dudes on their team. And when that dude is limping and you won the ball fair and square, they'll be like, dang, the Ultras got my man snapped. Y'all need to stop that. You know what I mean? Maybe that'll do it. Even if they don't do that, you gonna win the game. You still playing the game. So that happened, since I'm talking about it, the thing with Raheem Sterling as well, Raheem was cool about it because you know what? Raheem knows what time it is. And really, we all know what time it is. It's not going anywhere. People say what they want to say under their breath. They say there's no space for racism in football. How about there's no space for racism in the world? But we see it every day. We have world leaders who are racist. Yeah. So, what are we talking about here? Let's stop faking the funk. If we're serious about it, people need to get checked. But there are people, and here's the thing. Inter have fans who are making monkey chants at Koulibaly, but they've got black players in their team as well. What about the guy who is a Tottenham supporter, threw the banana peel at Aubameyang, but Tottenham got black players too, yeah? They got a bunch of them. Every team in the world's got black players. So the thing is, the presidents of these clubs need to be like, any ultra, any fan of ours who is out here spreading racism and hate, you're not allowed in our building anymore. That's what they need to do, but they're not going to do that because that's money in their pocket. They need money more than they believe in equality and people being treated properly. So they won't do that. So it's just sad. It's sad that I have to talk about things like this, or we have to deal with things like this in the world. But it's there. It's there every day. Every day. And I tell you what, I've had when I was playing, I've had players use racial slurs to me, use racial slurs to my face against me in front of the referee. In front of the referee, and the referee was right there. The referee says nothing. Play on. So then when I decide, I say something and I tell him how I'm going to injure him, the referee blows the whistle and says, oh, you can't talk like that. Oh, really? But he can use racial slurs against me though, right, ref? Come on, man. Come on, man. So it's sad. It's sad, but it is what it is. And we gotta keep on going. You call it out as it happens, and more people need to call it out. And honestly, it needs to be more white people calling it out if it's gonna stop. If some guy's sitting next to you making monkey sounds, Monkey chants when the guy gets the ball. Tell him, hey, knock it off, bro. But probably the guy sitting next to him is doing it too. They're all like, hey, this is fun. Hey, let's make monkey sounds every time the black guy gets the ball. Come on, man. It's so old. It's done, dude. But like I said, that's some people. That's all they hold on to. That's all that they have to feel good about themselves and say, hey, you know what? At least I'm not. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's a big issue. Even before what happened to Raheem, even what happened to Aubameyang, even before what happened to Koulibaly last week, it happens all the time. It happens all the time. So stay strong, people. Stay strong. Let me know what you think about the Arsenal-Liverpool game today. Do I think Liverpool is going to win the league? They have a big game coming up against Man City. If they can win that game or get a draw, they're in pole position. But even then, it's quite close. Chelsea's still around, Tottenham is still around, City's still around. So that game next week is massive. And we got a long way to go. Second half of the season, long way to go. And they're still in Champions League. FA Cup is going to start. There's a lot to concentrate on, So we'll see. But I do believe Arsenal will get Champions League football next season. And we'll go from there. But let me know what you think about the game today. And let me know what you think about the situation with Koulibaly if you want. Comment, subscribe at the bottom. Everybody have a happy new year. 2019 is going to be fire. All right? FCRB TV. Ciao.